Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green, taking on Notts County. I'm the manager at the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys, and we're taking on Notts County. I'm sick. Martin Tyler and Alan Smith are your commentators. I don't think you can hear their commentary, though. Don't worry. It's not particularly good. As you can see, we're in first, 6 points clear after 31 games of the 46-game season. They've got a ginger. Watch out, Notts County. We poach those sometimes. I'm going to watch and see if he's any good. Today's topic comes from Emma, who says, what does it mean to be a self? That's a small question, not a big question. She then talks about being at boarding school. She's a boarding school student, and the ways that kind of shapes her. And it's really interesting. I am very interested in this question of like what constitutes the self, or what we mean when we say ourselves, what you mean when you talk about you. This is something that has been kind of the great obsession, I guess, of the last few years of my life in terms of the stuff that I'm thinking about when I try to write. We're starting a Z's up front, as well as Bald John Green. Other John Green still injured. I had a talk with him yesterday where I said I felt like he was coming back a little slowly because he was enjoying being home with his son JJ so much, and he told me that he was working out and doing the best that he could, and I believe him mostly. But we've got Bald John Green starting and a Z's, so that's something. We also have the Golden Child. Is that Aaron Carroll? Oh, finally, someone's here to look at my lungs. No. Aaron, can you wait 7 minutes or not? All right. I'm talking about what it means to be a self. So it's not, I'll cover it in 7 minutes. It's easy. Yeah, so like it's super weird, right? Like one of the things that we do when we're trying when we're trying to try on different when we're trying to figure out like what we mean when we talk about ourselves. Oh no. Wow. Very, very dangerous there from Notts County in the opening minutes. But we've got Shea LaBeouf. He made a great save there, Meredith.
Just do it!
I think this is like one of the examples I always use is that when I was a kid, like there were all these personality tests on 17.com, like what kind of boyfriend should you have? It wasn't 17.com then; it was an actual physical magazine, but it was designed for girls. But I took all the tests anyway because I found them so interesting. It was designed, I should say, for heterosexual girls, or because there was no awareness of, like in print journalism, there was no allowance for it. It was a different time. So yeah, I would take all of these tests that were designed for like heterosexual girls when I was an adolescent, because they would always be like, a boy takes you to an ice cream shop. Do you A, order mint chocolate chip, B, tell him that you're not gonna B, you don't like ice cream, or C, ordered 2 scoops or whatever. And like I found these tests endlessly fascinating, as you can probably tell if you're a longtime Wimbly Womblys fan, because they were attempts by me to like try to understand like what I meant, what did I mean when I talked about myself? Were there multiple kinds of people, and which kind was I? I felt the same way about like the Myers-Briggs personality test the first time I took it when I was a kid. Like, is this a way of me understanding myself? Are these identities that I can like cling on to so that I have an answer for how to answer the question, like, tell me about yourself, or like, it's this whole question of who you are is very complicated. And it becomes especially complicated. Not a great ball, but but I've got a Z's and they don't, and that's a penalty. No, it's not. It's a goal. No, it's not. How did I not score? How did I not score in that situation? How is it not a penalty? And then how did I not score? A double surprise. Very frustrating situation. One of the ways I think about this stuff a lot is that, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and when I was a kid, I don't think I would have described it that way, but I knew that I had a weird thing. I knew that I was, I think everybody feels a little bit like this when they're in high school, probably, but I knew like there were many times in high school when I was not in control of my thoughts, where I was not in control of my feelings, where I was not making a choice, or didn't feel like I was. That ginger shows no potential, by the way, and the last thing we need is another striker. Yeah, how do you not score in this situation, Aziz? I mean, for the love of God. Anyway, we've got Shia LaBeouf. Everything's going to be fine. You know, where like I would say to myself, like, boy, stop feeling this thing that you're feeling, and I couldn't. Or I would say to myself, stop thinking this thing that you're thinking, and I couldn't. And that puts a big pressure on this idea of yourself, right? Because if you are not in control of your thoughts, then what the frick is you, right? Like, you are your thoughts, basically, right? Like, you're not a physical, you're not merely a physical body. Ah, get there, John Green! John Green! John Green! Ball! John Green! John Green. He gives it all for the team. Upon his mustache we're keen. Bald John Green, John Green. It's almost like a funeral dirge when I'm this sick. But anyway, I'm very happy for him. Very proud of him. Couldn't be prouder. Yeah. So, yeah. Like all the ways that we have of like conceptualizing the self are challenged by the fact that like when you don't feel like you're in the driver's seat of your own consciousness or your own experience. And that is something, oh God, John Green, you could have hustled there a little bit. We know that 1-0 leads are not safe from our previous encounter with Bristol Rovers. That's something that I found really troubling when I was in high school, and to some extent I still feel really, really troubled by. So I think what we mean when we talk about ourselves is a complicated nexus of things, and that ultimately the only conclusion that I'm able to come to about personhood is that it is something that we confer upon each other, that like we ultimately we make each other selves, we make each other human, and that personness, humanness is not something that can happen in a vacuum, but instead it's conferred upon you by in conversation with the social order. And when the social order, for whatever reason, won't confer personhood upon you, that is, you know, like that, then you must struggle to establish it, which I think is what it's kind of the story of American history in many ways, is that American history started out with a very narrow definition of personhood, that all men were created equal so long as they were men and white and property holders, and that they all should have equal rights under the law so long as they were white male property owners, and that over time people, not because of the generosity of the people who were in power, but because of the struggles to express and maintain personhood in the face of very dehumanizing circumstances, those more and more people got, more and more people over the course of American history and other histories as well have been acknowledged as persons. Now, like I'm not going to pretend that victory is won or anything, but I think like that's ultimately what we mean when we talk about the self. The self is a thing that is established in conversation with other selves, and that you can't have a self that's sort of an island. You can't have a self that's separate from all the other definitions of self. That's a great ball that opens up a lot of space. And John Green is bigger and tougher than you. Oh, dang it! He wasn't, as it turns out, bigger or tougher. He was just, I know I used the, oh no. Oh, it's okay. Shea's on the ball.
Just do it!
Oh, Shia LaBeouf. There we go. That's nice. That's nice. See, what I'm trying to do now is do these runs into tight spaces, because I'm thinking that that's how you open up space in the world. And it, I was about to try to make a metaphor out of that, but instead I'm going to... Oh, dang it. You know, Meredith, you know Keanu Reeves, our star central midfielder, the Golden Child 2.0? He has a little bit of the same problem that the Golden Child 1.0 had, which is that he does not appear to be a particularly strong finisher. He is young. He's only 13 years old. He just hit puberty. But still not that impressed with him in terms of... Oh, John Green, he's got no bars left, but he's all courage and finishing. Oh, yes. I like his new swan dive thing. I think it's very clever. Anyway, he's got a beautiful mustache. I'm not up for singing. I don't feel well enough. My head hurts really bad when I cough or when I try to like push air through my head like in singing. So I apologize. But we're winning. That's what matters. So this is the only conclusion I can come to about selfhood, other than the other one that I clung to a lot in the sort of like more difficult times of my life, is the turtles all the way down definition of selfhood, which I don't want to talk about too much because it's too much of a spoiler for my new book. But I am also a fan of, by the way, the nice save by Shia LaBeouf. I'm also a fan of the of in general just recursive worldviews that. Ah, dang it! Shoot. I don't think there's anything wrong with like endless recursion in like worldview logic, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. Ah, yeah. Just wait for the book. It's going to be great. Finish. Oh my God. Oh, what a hat trick. What a finish. It's one for the ages. It's one for the absolute ages. A beautiful ball, and then Ball John Green stops it. One touch on the half volley. Roof of the net. Notts County humiliated. Our opponents weep. We celebrate. Their ginger sucks. It's a beautiful day in America. Or I guess England. What a great hat trick from Ball John Green. Thanks to everybody for supporting me in the dark times. We've really come around. We've learned so much about how to score goals in this game, even without cheating on the bars. Oh, my God. Ball John Green. He just needed a great pass, and he got one. And he showed the kind of character he has as a person, as a husband, and as a father. It was beautiful. Your ginger sucks. Your ginger sucks. We have Ball John Green, and your ginger sucks. I don't really have a good song about their ginger, but that was the best I could do. Oh, pass it out of the back. That's how we win. You are a self. I confer it upon you. Thank you for watching. Best wishes.